Yes, good evening. My name is Wallace Gator Bradley, and I'm the president of United Peace, Inc. And I want to say that this show is brought to you today or this evening up under the direction and the production of Miss Terry Marsh. She's also the chairman of United Peace, Inc. And I've been blessed to tell the world unapologetically that I'm in love with her. With that, I want to say to God be the glory. There's a lot of things that's been happening in this city. Everything is on the violence piece. And I want to first off give my condolences to Betty Jean Price's family, as well as condolences to my friend, real close friend in the struggle, Hal Baskin's family. Hal Baskin left us this morning, so I've been told. I want to also extend my condolences to the individuals who lost their lives last weekend. And I want to thank God for blessing the individuals who were shot last weekend, for blessing them to be alive. There's a lot of tension that's on that violence, and we want to talk about it, what everyone is saying, where everyone is blaming who. We're going to get into that. But before I do, I want to say hooray, hooray, hooray to WGN TV and the Tribune for making the decision not to have the deal with the Sinclair Company. Sinclair Company is a far-right TV station or news media that remind me of Fox TV on steroids. And I'm glad and I thank God for touching the board of the Tribune Broadcasting Company and for them not letting Sinclair be able to buy their paper and WGN TV. Again, I want to say hooray, hooray, hooray. And on another note, you see where the special prosecutor okayed to try a judge accused of bringing a gun into the courtroom. Judge Joseph Capps, that's his name. A special prosecutor was appointed Thursday to present the state's case against a Cook County judge accused of bringing a loaded gun into the criminal court building. Judge Joseph Capps, that's CLAPS 70, faces a misdemeanor count of bringing a weapon into a prohibited area after a handgun allegedly fell from his jacket pocket as he walked through the courthouse lobby on July the 8th. This is real key and significant because this same judge has sentenced individuals for being caught with a weapon. I noticed the same judge that was involved in a case when a guy got shot down because allegedly he was trying to shoot someone else. So I'm glad that now this judge is getting his just due in the name of justice. And his mindset, if he was a judge that came into a courtroom with a gun, or came into the court building with a gun, and accidentally dropped the gun, could you imagine the mindset this judge had when he's in the courtroom, giving people all that time? When listening to motions that were being filed in order to show their innocence. But that's a different story. I want to say hooray, hooray, that he's going to have a special prosecutor. That's justice to me. Caller, I see you. Could you please state your name and voice your opinion?
I sure will. I see you too, Stepper. I remember the Stepper now. Yes, let me say this. Hooray, hooray, hooray for that judge. Let him see the inside of one of themselves. For, let's say, 30 days, he'd be hollering and crying about injustice. But you know what gets me now? As an ex-offender,
right,
you can run for president, but you can't run for any office in Illinois or Chicago, I should say. They're afraid that, see, when people come out of prison, they know what's wrong. They understand. But they won't give them a chance because they know just a little too much. It'll mess up the alderman, and especially Mr. Ram. And about the parade.
Right.
I enjoyed looking at it, but I asked Pastor Livingston a question, and he says, well, the purpose of the parade wasn't to stop violence. It was the marchers for showing the people who have money, I guess, are welcome.
His march was to ask the superintendent and the mayor to resign. Hey, I got another caller, man.
Okay, buddy.
Okay, caller. Man, the lines are on fire. Could you please state your name?
Hey, Gator, this is Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Man, I got something funny. Listen, I ran into one of our old friends. I had to leave a message to a Terry, and I give her the name, and you're gonna know who I'm talking about. Listen, you know, it's odd that everything falls into what I'm about to say. I also saw that on in the paper where the judge walking through the courthouse and the gun falls right out on the floor in front of everybody.
Right.
Let me tell you, it's going to lead up to what I've been saying. Gator, people think everybody wants to be a bad man, a bad guy, and don't know nothing about being a bad guy. Matter of fact, they ought to be glad they're not a bad guy. They ought to be glad they didn't go through what we went through. But again, people talk, they run their mouth, and they want to be a bad guy. And what I saw the other day, I was out in the streets, and you know somebody who know about something, know about the street life, and they trying to be bad to a group, pull a gun, and guess what happened? He got beat down. Gun got taken.
All right.
Call the police. Again, you need to stay in your lane. Don't try to be something that what you're not. When you try to get out of your lane, that's when you get run over.
You got that right.
You get run over.
Thanks,
But
Steve.
listen, Gator, I know you got a lot of people.
Oh, man, yeah, there's a lot of things, man, in the news.
Hey,
you know?
Listen, get in contact with Carrie. There's something going on next Saturday. You're going to really enjoy that. Bring Terry, your wife, and your friends, and come on out. All right?
Do. Hey, man, and give that charming daughter a hug and kiss your wife, too.
I will, man. I will.
Thanks all right, Doc. Thanks, Steve. You know, caller, I see you, but I want to state something right quick, and I may want you to interject on it. In the news, they're about to start the trial for the two guys that killed Hadia. They're picking the jury as we speak. This is something real special to me. I know it's special to everyone. You know, I got my orange jacket, I got my orange button, I got my orange t-shirt. And I was blessed to know this young lady, her mother and father, because my son Leviticus was going to King High School, and they were best of friends. So I prayed that justice be served in this case, and I'm leaving God with the power to determine what ought to be done to these guys behind what they allegedly did to Hadia. Carl, I see you. Could you please state your name?
Yeah, hello? Yeah, this is James. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Now, when you say about the guns, right? Now, about the drugs, right? Now, the state police, and okay, they asked for the, you know, the concealed carry guns, right? The permit, right?
Right.
Now, they asked for that, they always in on it. They asked for the people who carry guns, here to carry guns. The media, the state police, the Chicago police, the mayor, the governor, and all them. And then what about the judge? Now, they going after everybody, talking about they were getting the guns off the street. And then why should they take the guns off the street? And then what about the legal gun to carry? They should take the guns, should carry guns off too, and the police guns too.
Right. You know, I'm glad you mentioned that. I got some more calls, but I'm glad you mentioned that. I believe that everyone, same as you, if you commit a crime with a pistol, they should take your pistol. If you're a security guard or a police officer, until everything is ironed out. I agree with you on that. But one of the things that got me is this violence that we have in here in the city of Chicago. Ronner is on a rampage because he feel like the mayor is responsible for the 71 shootings over the weekend. Okay, and he did an interview and he comes out and say Rahm is corrupt. He's part of the problem in Chicago, failure on jobs, failure on taxes. He's got to go. Well, I think he could have just looked in the mirror and changed the name and applied that same thing to himself. Because a lot of people feel, me included, that Ron Nerve ought to go. And he's the governor. But that's a different story. But that election is going to be November 6, 2018. And I'm asking you to vote for J.B. Pritzker. While we on that, everyone is talking about a solution to the violence. I feel like there's a lot of solutions that can help stop the violence. But everybody got to understand the truth about violence from my perspective and from what I see. Violence happens when people normally don't plan for it. It just up and pop. But this past weekend, we saw where individuals shot up, I think it was a block club or something. We see where individuals shot a young lady as she was running away and she happened to run down the alley. We see where individuals shot 4 people and 3 of them were children. That was senseless violence. And everyone is trying to lay the blame on the mayor. You got some elected officials saying that the mayor is shamming or whatever they call it. He's blaming the victims' families and everything else. I didn't get that from what the mayor was saying. I thought he was saying what I've been saying all the time. We in our community got to take partial blame because we allowed individuals that's shooting up our communities, that's killing senselessly women and children, and men too. And we know they did it. And because we knew their mother or father or grandparents, we allowed an individual to come back out, or individuals to come back out in our community and terrorize the community. I say it takes all of us, myself and Andrew and others, even our departed friend in the struggle, Hal Baskin, would take to the streets and get the community involved to the point that when someone was senselessly killed or shot, the community worked along with law enforcement to help get that element out of their community. Whether the parents turned them in or whether they turned themselves in, the community came together and did this. That's a solution. No money was involved. They had to wait to get a program. They just came together. That's what I believe the mayor was saying. But that's just my opinion, and you're entitled to yours. But in order for us to get the programs that we need within our community, we got to think like that and be about that. And don't wait till your loved one get killed and ask someone to please say something about who killed my child. But that's just me. See where J.B. Pritzker, what's his opinion? And he says gun control, stronger communities, and ending the violence epidemic. That's a wonderful thing. And I think him and Ronna to stand together and come to the same conclusion and let this be an agenda where everyone will see that they're going to work together, whoever become governor, going to do what they can to work with the community, law enforcement, push legislation that go at everybody that's involved in a senseless shooting and killing, whether it's a gang member, a family member, or a police officer. Whoever, I'm asking the people to make it, when they have their debates, make it where whoever is hosting a debate, to get them on record that they're going to work with the community, law enforcement, business leaders, and they're going to listen to the victims that survived, they're going to listen to their families, and if they got a plan, they're going to help make that happen. I know they can do that. And the community got to stand up with them. Don't wait. Tell them you want this commitment from them. Be it my guy that's running for governor, which is J.B. Pritzker, be it the other guy that's governor, Ronna. You want that commitment from both of them by November 5th. So you'll know how you're going to vote November 6th. So whoever go in office has to live up to that commitment to do everything, including pushing legislation to deal with the violence, regardless who fired that pistol. But that's just my opinion. The Fraternal Order of Police blames violence on the war on police. That's crazy. That's ludicrous. The people don't have a war on the police. It appears that some bad officers have a war on the people. The people are not shooting the police and beating the cases. The police are shooting the people. Not all the police, but the wrong police, the corrupt police. They have a war on the people. So I ain't gonna say too much about the Fraternal Order of Police other than the fact I wish they hurry up and do that decree. I wish whoever gonna be governor gonna push legislation to make it where any police officer that's involved in misconduct, money should come out of their pocket and their pension program instead of just taxpayers' dollars. That'll make an officer scratch his head before he just grab that gun and he shoots someone. But again, it's just my opinion. But I'm telling you, the people got the power. Y'all can make this demand of those that's running for office in November. Tell them you want this out there where they stand before November 5th. Because you got a job and I got a job to do November 6th. And if they agree before November 5th, we're going to rest assured that things going to be done with the betterment or for the betterment of the people of Illinois November 7th. I know I seem a lot of, as if I'm very opinionated. It's a lot of death. And one thing I found wonderful in going to the funeral today for my friend's mother, Miss Betty Jean Price, was that she died of natural causes. And my friend Hal Baskin died of natural causes. It wasn't attributed to senseless violence, robbing of a senior citizen. It was a call from God bringing him home. Instead of going to a funeral because someone was senselessly murdered. So we ain't thinking about the Fraternal Order of Police on that. They gonna do what they gonna do, but anybody that's against a decree to make somebody do right, know that they got in their mind to continue to do wrong. Superintendent Johnson, he plans crackdowns on unsanctioned block parties. You know how you usually can say you turn on your, the brother got them cars with a stereo in it, man, and they can hit something and pop their hood and the music just come out and everybody is happy. They get that Henny and everybody is drinking. They get the smoking. They get the molly dropping and lollipopping or whatever they call it. But a lot of them don't have a permit from the city to have those parties. And some of those parties are becoming targets for individuals just to shoot down a block and innocent people get shot and murdered. I want to say hooray, hooray for Johnson doing what he's doing when an individual is breaking the law, when they tell them, hey, dude, you're not allowed to have this party. And he's saying he's going to ask them to leave. And if they don't leave, he's going to arrest them. So we got to do everything, everybody's opinion to what they feel is a solution, is a worthy opinion, because it takes all of us. I'm doing something over here, Johnson doing something over there, the mayor may be doing something, they say he ain't doing enough over there, aldermen may be doing something, and people saying they ain't doing enough over there, and those who want to run for governor saying what they think they ought to do. If we all just do what little we can, it'll help, because one thing I know, there's a few individuals that's creating all this mayhem. And the majority of the people know who they are. And I believe there's going to come a time when they did it to us, they're going to start making those individuals that's saying that they leader of this clique or leader of that clique, they're going to make them responsible individuals to the point that anything that's done in the community, they're going to hold you responsible, if it's good or bad. I got to wrap it up. I'm going to wrap it up with this. I want to say, let's be prayerful. Let's be mindful. Let's love our children. And everybody should know their neighbor on the right of them and the left of them. And then go across the street and meet everybody that know their neighbor from the right of them and the left of them. And together we can come and bring peace in our community and stop the violence, that we all will be looking out for one another. And with that, I want to say, to God be the glory. And vote. Don't choke.